communication bringing chaos or clarity? Well, welcome to Growth Time Live. And if you are on that quest to be that great 21st century leader, hey, you can improve your communication and drive great performance just by applying these three coaching tips on communication that brings clarity, goggle vision. So, hey, look, today I got some great examples and some thoughts about what brings clarity in our communication because none of us want chaos. And I can remember some distinct times where I brought chaos into communication. And I think about playing coaching sports, coaching basketball. And recently I was coaching a high school basketball group and the game was about to be ended. And at the end of the game, there's about 10 seconds left. I call timeout, huddle everybody up. And in my mind, I'm a little scattered. I'm not thinking as clear. But hey, look, I start doing the X's and O's. And I start scribing out what each person should go do. And it's hurry, it's in a scramble. And I'm thinking I'm presenting it clearly. And I'm telling where people should go and how they should do the play and how they should run it so we can win the game. And I say, let's break the huddle and go. And yeah, then I look at their faces and they're confused, a little anxious, kind of questioning where they should go or what should happen. And now the huddle's breaking, it's broken out, or on the court. Now I'm trying to coach while the play's trying to take place. And yeah, you can imagine, it was a disaster. We didn't score, we didn't win the game. And in that, I, as a coach, was responsible because why? I brought chaos and the symptoms of it. Confusion, brought some anxiety, and there was no order. That was the symptoms of chaos in communication, and I brought them, and we didn't get performance, we didn't get results. And you can think about it. There's many times in your journey as a leader, and let's be clear, we're all leaders. By design or default, you're influencing, inspiring others, whether that's family, relationships, even if you have that tag or title, you are a leader. And in that, man, there's times our communication just brings chaos. I can recall too being in that corporate world, that corporate setting, and I have a meeting and a huddle with my boss, and look, he's covering so many different points and KPIs and what needs to happen and what needs to take place, and I think I am drinking from a fire hose. Bam! And communication is in so many different places. At the end, it was just chaos. I didn't know what the expectation was. I didn't know what really action was going to be most beneficial to take. And look, performance dragged. We didn't get great results. Nothing really happened. We felt good about having that peripheral meeting, right? So we know those symptoms of chaos. We've done them. We've had them done to us. But how do we bring clarity? How do we bring it? How do we bring clarity to communication? Because the simple truth is communication as a leader is one of the most pivotal points that's going to help your listeners and your followers drive performance. And the higher you go up, the clearer that communication's got to be. So clarity, I think of three things really that bring clarity. And I think of three thoughts. One, clarity's got to bring confidence. People got to walk away thinking, feeling good about what was said. Two, there's got to be some strength. There's got to be some power behind what those words value and mean and how you bring them into the conversation. Then look, it's got to bring focus. There's got to be some executable actions or something that takes place out of that conversation that communicates a bringing forth or going clearly towards a vision or goal. So here's the thought. It sounds easy. We would all love to get clear communication, not bring chaos. Well, it starts number one with an overall theme. It starts with our mindset. But are you set on it? Is your mind set on bringing clarity rather than chaos? So if you take that focus, number one, that's going to be a blanket to cover you. Your goal should bring clarity to a communication, not chaos. And in that, here's three simple coaching tips to do it. Number one, say more with less. And this is a great coaching my coach gave to me. Steve Ford, shout out to you, Steve. Years ago, he was my boss. He was a great coach leader. He said, say more with less. That you're over communicating the messages. There's too many messages you're trying to communicate in leadership and they lose their impact. It dilutes their meaning. It dilutes the impact you're having and what you're trying to convey when you're having people drink from a fire hose. Even if you articulate it really well, say more with less. And get clearer with that concise communication. Number two, okay, it's the tone, the feel, the mood you bring. Because in communication, there's a great principle. It's called the rule, the 7-38-55 rule. Really interesting, but I found it to be very effective and true. 7% of your communication is kind of what you say. 38% has to do with your tone or the tone you're trying to convey when you're speaking to people. And then 55% is all about that body language. How does your body language come across in your communication? It presents a pattern of bringing chaos, stress, anxiety, confusion, disorder, or it brings focus, strength, clarity. So that 7-38-55 rule, you got to consider. You got to bring that into your mindset when you're communicating. And number 3, key point. This is your cleanup. This is the cleanup mess. Let's just say you've actually fire hosed people. You've had poor body language and posture and tone. It stinks. The number 3 is you're finishing the communication. It's your cleanup. You need to ask the audience, whether that's a person, a relationship, a huddle, a meeting, hey, what was your main takeaway? What was the main actions you took away from this conversation? What did you get from it? And if what they say doesn't match up to what you wanted to communicate, then you got a problem. You got to go back and get clarity and bring clarity to that communication. Ask clarifying questions. What didn't you quite understand? Or where do you need more clarity? And mind you, if your tone is condescending, hey, go listen. You got to have a tone that you want to make sure that you're communicating clearly. So finish the communication is number 3. Ask, right? So those are some 3 quick coaching tips that I want you to think about this week on how you go out and increase your communication and drive and change performance. I can share with you, I got better once I realized I was bringing chaos. Having a meeting, having a huddle, I would make sure there was 1 or 2 key points I wanted to message through the whole conversation. And at the end, I would summarize it. And at the end, I would ask, do you guys need any clarity? Do you need any further communication that may help clarify what we're talking about to go do? And what were your main takeaways? I promise you, we got people in the action. We got people to move. And then next time that timeout got called at that huddle, better believe I made sure that I presented clear communication to the team so we can go execute that play. So this week, frame your mindset. Number 1, focus your mindset that you're going to bring clarity in every communication and avoid chaos. Look at the symptoms. Are you bringing confusion? Are you bringing anxiety? Are you bringing disorder? Then you need to shift. You need to bring clarity that's going to bring strength. That's going to bring focus. That's what you need with the clarity component. So once you have that mindset set, 3 reminders. Number 1, say more with less. Follow the 7-38-55 principle rule and make sure you're matching the tone to the tone of the conversation that needs to take place. And then number 3, finish the communication. Make sure your audience, the person you're talking to, is clear about what was said and what the main takeaway was and the action to go do is. That's the growth time thought for the day. Hey, increase your communication, get clear, get out of that chaotic world. It's going to be impactful. And if you want more growth, if you're still on that quest, go to mygrowthtime.com. So it's mygrowthtime.com, and I'd love for you to get connected to the free 52-week by week journey to unlock your best life in leadership. It's free. Just connected, get subscribed to My Growth Time, and get into your growth period. Get into that growth zone, see great change, see great results, and be the best you can be in life and leadership. Hey, thanks for jumping on Growth Time Live today. What time is it? It's always growth time, baby.